there. So I love digital art. It's the thing that I've used for many years. About 2 years ago, I started dabbling a little bit in acrylics, and then about 1.5 years ago, I started trying watercolours every so often. But one thing that I have never tried is oil painting. And the reason I've put this off for so long is because I find it incredibly confusing. As someone that's never been to art school or had any form of experience with oil painting, I really don't understand all these bottles and jars and oils and chemicals and poisonous things that you put with the oils. You don't just like sort of paint and dry, you know? It's confusing to me. So I went over to Skillshare and searched oil painting, because whenever I'm trying to learn something new, I always use Skillshare because it's great. I found these really, really helpful classes by Adele McFarlane, and she just basically went through the entire basics and everything I needed to know about oil painting. I will leave a link in the description if you want to take this class too, because Skillshare is kindly sponsoring this video today, and they have given me a link for the first 300 people only to take their classes for 2 months for free. So make sure you check them out. They got over 24,000 classes in art, design, photography, business, web design, just everything you can kind of think of, they've got on their website. And I even teach my own classes on Skillshare. You want to check them out? They're on there. You can take them for free if you check out the link. They're just a fantastic resource that I recommend to all new artists and people trying to learn new things. So thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video today. And yeah, I think it's about time we start oil painting, so let's go. So this is everything that I purchased. I went with the Utrecht oil paints here. And basically I want to be as non-toxic as I possibly can with this, because oil painting is, I mean, I don't want to say dangerous, but you know, it's kind of dangerous. And I know a lot of people do it, but I just want to try and keep it as non-toxic as I can. So I've got some Gesso here, which was recommended to me in the shop because this helps to like clean the brushes and stuff. But I'm actually not going to use this. Instead, I'm going to use linseed oil to help sort of take the paint off of my brushes. And this was actually recommended to me in the class because she actually has an entire class based on non-toxic oil painting, or as least toxic as possible anyway. So yeah, firstly she uses linseed oil in 2 different cups. So she's got 2, one's for dirty, one's for clean, and that just helps apparently loosen oil paints. I deliberately at the time did not buy any paints that said they were cadmium in it. Apparently this one does say cadmium on it, but apparently according to Adele McFarlane, if it says cadmium hue, usually it means that it's a hue that looks like something that's pure cadmium, but it's not always as dangerous or as potent. So we've got this one, and you know, everything else is here. I've got myself a little canvas here. This one is pre-gessoed, but she told me that I need to gesso it myself. So apparently what you do is you have to put the gesso on in one direction, let it dry, and then do it in the opposite direction. Let it dry, and then it's good to go. I've got myself some cheap little brushes here, which are synthetic fibres, and she said that they're fine as well, so should be good to go. The only thing I didn't have was a palette. She uses a glass palette, which is quite helpful, I think, because you can keep cleaning it off. But she said if you don't have one, you can use wax paper. This is not something I'm going to keep using, don't worry. I know it's not very earth friendly, so I'm just going to use it for this one particular video until I get myself a proper palette. So I'm not really sure which direction I want to go in with this just yet. I just want to have like a bear of some kind with maybe like a butterfly on his nose. Not really sure. So I'm kind of trying to just get a really loose like anatomy of this bear. I'm actually using some references from my friend, who is an incredible animal photographer, so I'll leave her Instagram handle here, so make sure you check her out. I really don't have the best ventilation in this room, which is not a good thing when you're working with oil paint. These are all leaking, what the heck? Genuinely have no idea what to expect. Yeah, I can kind of smell it already, it's quite strong. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have some sort of greenish background. I feel like such a professional artist right now with my palette knife. I think I'm going to open a door because this is just, I need ventilation. So apparently you're supposed to start with the darks, and apparently you layer it up. So the first layer should be very, very thin because that's the layer that's going to be drying, and then the more layers you add, the thicker you can get with the paint. But I'm not going to be allowing this to dry today. I think I'm going to just do it all in one go because I'm a rebel. It's child locked. That's probably why I can't get in. Right, so I think I'm going to apply a very small amount of this linseed oil to my paints just to see what the effect is. Ooh, Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm oil painting. I'm certain there's a lot of things that I'm doing wrong right now, so I'd really appreciate any tips or advice any of you have, because I really don't have a clue what I'm doing. So I'm trying to be as thin with this as I can, because that's what I'm supposed to do. But I am actually, again, I'm not really waiting for this to dry to complete this. I'm just going to fully Bob Ross it and just do it all at once. Because if he can do it, well, no one else can really do it because it's Bob Ross, but you know what I mean. It's very hard to clean off the oil from the brushes, apparently. I absolutely love the way these blend. Like, look at that. How nice does that look? It's so smooth. I already prefer these to acrylics. I'm kind of really just experimenting with the colour instead of trying to do anything too fancy. I'm just basically seeing what I can actually make. Like, it's just perfectly blending. Like, there's no, you can't see any of the canvas behind it at all. And I'm not sure if that's just because I have really good quality paints. But whenever I use acrylic paint, I feel like it's just not easy to blend it like this. This is just so seamless. I'm going to attempt to lighten it now. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but I'm going to try it anyway. The colour just goes on forever. Like, it's just, I love using this linseed oil because it just makes it last so long. I didn't even know that was a thing. So yeah, it's very difficult to lighten up once you've already put dark down because it just kind of blends in so much. If you had like days and days to do this, I can see why people spend just weeks on painting with oil paints, because it's just like the most, like, it just doesn't, no! I've gotten rid of his tail and I get the feeling that's going to be difficult to bring back. So because I'm going the kind of greenish blue route, I think I'm going to go in a more like reddish orange route for the bear to give it like that complementary colour. I think it would look quite nice. I just need to make sure I clean my brush off properly. That class was seriously so helpful. Like, I had no idea half the stuff she was telling me was even a thing. Like, I've read a lot of articles, but some of the stuff she told me, I genuinely didn't even know that was a thing because I never read it in the articles. So, Adele McFarlane, you are awesome. It just blends so nicely. It's just like, look how it blends. Just look at the blend. I think from memory, they said when you add linseed oil, I think that it makes it dry slower. Or am I getting that opposite way around? Does it make it dry faster? It's nice because acrylics dry so fast that you don't get that like really nice blendability that you do with oils. I totally get why Bob Ross used this. Like, I just want to go and paint a million mountains and trees right now. So I think what I'm going to do now is, other than make this bear actually look like a bear, which it doesn't right now, it looks like some sort of deformed deer, we're going to go ahead and try and make a little bee on his nose, I think. Yeah, you really have to think this out if you're planning on doing it all at once, because it's not going to dry in a few minutes. It's going to take hours, if not days and weeks to dry. So you definitely have to like think this through. So I want him to be like yellow and like orange and red. This is going to be quite tough. And if I'm being honest, I really don't make a lot of animals. So in general, this is going to be a bit messy, but it's fine. I'm trying. This is what I don't want to do. I've got green in it. I'm just going to sort of just add some colours to the bear. I've got like a reoccurring theme about bears at the moment. If you look over on my Instagram, I've had these like little bear illustrations I've been working on, and I've really enjoyed them because I'm trying to sort of develop my own character and I want it to be like a little bear. So I've not come up with a name for him yet, so if you can think of one, let me know. Is that a bee? You know, I remember once when I was a kid, I actually did try oils, but I thought they were like acrylic paint. So I painted something and then overnight waited for it to dry and it was still wet. And I could not understand for the life of me what happened. And then I went back to it like a few weeks later and it was still wet. And I could not figure out what was going on. I had no idea that oils were even like a thing. I'm a little bit nervous to do his face, I'm not gonna lie, because I kind of feel like I'm gonna mess it up. I'm kind of taking a lot of inspiration from Rob Kaz for this because I love the way he does his backgrounds. I'm not good with fine details with a paintbrush. What's amazed me about this is I'm still on the same tiny amount of paint that I was when I started. Like, I've hardly used any oil paints whatsoever, so I can see why people don't have to buy oil paints very often. Okay, so it's the next day now. I started developing a headache because of the smell of all this. So what I'm going to do now is just finish off his face basically, and then just sort of see where I can go from there. I'm messing his face up, I can feel it. I can see it and I can feel it. I think I'm pretty much on the cusp of being done. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave it before I mess it up further, if I'm being honest, because this thing really needs to dry. And there we have it. There's my little bear. What do you think? It's my first oil painting. It's nowhere near perfect and I've made a lot of mistakes. But overall, I'm actually quite happy with it and how it turned out. I will leave a link to all of the supplies that I used in this video in the description down below. And also make sure you check out Skillshare too, because this is where I learned a lot of the oil painting related stuff I learned in that class. So definitely check it out if you can. And let me know as well if there's anything that I should try out next, or techniques that maybe I didn't do properly. I'd love to hear your experience there. And thank you so incredibly much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves and I will see you in the next video.